Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we're going to be discussing the 2011 film Green Lantern, starring Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. This film, it was one of the first, not the first, of the DC Comics movie universe. And really, the DC Comics movie universe actually started with the 1978 version of Superman. But this is like one of the first of the modern version of the DC Comics universe, and this movie, for some reason, got named based in the media. It got criticized heavily by the critics, and I just watched the movie for the very first. It took me 10 years. I finally got around to actually seeing this movie, and I'm telling you one thing: this movie is not bad at all. I actually like this movie. And the funny thing is, the tip-off is most movies that got blasted by the movie critics, the more mainstream movie critics, are usually the movies that are usually better than the movies they give 3 or 4 stars to, or the movies that win all the Academy Awards. The movies that get 1 or 2 stars or 2.5 stars out of 4 are usually better than the 4-star rated movies. And that's the case of Green Lantern. Of course, Green Lantern, of course, those of you who don't know the plot or don't read the Green Lantern comic books, Green Lantern was played by Ryan Reynolds, whose actual character's name was Hal Jordan, who in the original storyline of the comics was an Air Force test pilot. Now, of course, in the movie, they kind of changed that. Oh, we can't have a pro-military guy. We can't have a pro-military movie because it's too conservative. We gotta be against the military. So they changed it to a test pilot for this company that develops and builds airplanes for the military. So it's kind of changed it, but the actual Hal Jordan character was a test pilot for the Air Force. All right, that's the original character. So he was pretty much a screw up, which wasn't the case in the comic books or in the cartoons. The original Green Lantern cartoons back in the 60s. I think it was except for the cartoon in the 60s. And the Super Friends cartoon back in the 70s and the early 80s, the one that I grew up, the Green Lantern version I grew up with, those were the usually where the character was not a screw up. But in the movie, they may have flawed, and then he was testing a new fighter jet, and he crashed. So he froze because he kept thinking about his father, and he froze behind, in the cockpit. So you say, oh, this guy's a screw up, this guy's a bum, this guy's an idiot, and this and everything else. And there's one particular day, he ends up finding, or I should say, seeing a spaceship that crashed near where he lives, and he goes to checks it out, and it happens to be a guy who was in the Green Lantern Corps, who was one of the most powerful, or the most powerful Green Lantern guy in the Green Lantern Corps, and he passed his ring to Hal Jordan, or the ring found him, because every time a Green Lantern dies, there's about over 3,000 guys in the Green Lantern Corps protecting certain sections of the universe, and there was not one protecting the section of the universe that Earth is in, because I think that the Earthlings are too immature or too self-centered to be, with them. So, or to join the Green Lantern Corps. So what happened was, the ring found Hal Jordan anyway, or picked Hal Jordan, and after that, of course, he becomes Green Lantern, and as soon as he puts the ring on and recharges it in the Green Lantern, he gets transported to the planet where the Green Lantern Corps gets trained and everything. And then what happens is there was one particular Green Lantern who was actually physically training Hal Jordan to be a member of the Green Lantern Corps, and he wasn't that good at it because I think it was too unpredictable or not that creative mentally. So at first he didn't want to have anything. He didn't want to have anything to do with the Green Lantern Corps, and the Green Lantern Corps, or at least the people who were training him, didn't want anything to do with this guy. That the Ring made a mistake in picking this guy, or this other Green Lantern didn't make such a great decision in picking this guy. And so Hal Jordan says, look, the Ring, as the guy said, the Ring picked me. Of all the people on Earth, the Ring picked me. So if you blame somebody, don't blame this guy, blame your Ring, blame your system, because your system was the one that picked me. I didn't pick you guys, you picked me. So, and of course, one of the Green Lanterns was Sinestro, who was the main villain of Green Lantern. This is the only villain I really know from the Green Lantern lore, because there was one season of the Super Friends television show, Saturday morning cartoon show. It was called Challenge of the Super Friends, where you have one villain. In some cases, in case of Superman and Batman, you have more than one villain against, the counterparts of the Justice League. And Sinestro was the counterpart for Green Lantern. And the thing you had Captain Cold from the Flash. You had Cheetah with Wonder Woman, and you had the Riddler with Batman and Robin. You have one counterpart. You have Superman. You have more than one. For some reason. But anyway, getting off topic. So, what Sinestro and the Justice League were finding out, not Justice League, the Council, the rules over the Green Lantern Corps, knows that this big, huge super villain's going to come in and destroy the whole Green Lantern Corps. And the guy who was doing that used to be one of the council members. And he embraced fear. And fear, for some reason, fear was ironically, it was like yellow. And so Hal Jordan ends up asking, how come everything is green here? And he says, because green means will. Strength of will. That's why you have green, is a strength of will, and yellow represents fear. So if you have fear, you have a lot of yellow in you, or whatever. They explain it that way, and so this one council member embraces fear because fear is like the strongest. Fear is like more powerful than force of will. But the reason why the council never embraced fear is because of fear was too unpredictable. But Sinestro was able to convince the council, hey, if we don't embrace fear or make a ring with fear, that's strong with fear, we're not going to be able to defeat this guy. And so Sinestro was able to convince the council to make a yellow ring. And that's how Sinestro was able to get the yellow ring and, of course, eventually fight Green Lantern. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen in this particular film because of the bad press and the bad reviews that's gone in the media. They never made a second Green Lantern film. Now, with Ryan Reynolds, because they bastard, and Ryan Reynolds has never really worked again. I think he worked a couple of minor roles after the Green Lantern, but he hasn't gotten like a real major part because everybody blasted him for the movie for his lousy performance, and I didn't think his performance was that lousy, to tell you the truth. So of course, when Hal goes back to Earth, getting back to the movie, when he goes back to Earth, he happens to save his girlfriend, who was played by Blake Lively, and she was smoking hot in this film. I mean, she was. And happens to save her life, happens to save the senator's life, and but then the senator's son gets involved with Amanda Waller. Of course, we all know that she was like a villain, like a puppet master behind the scenes, creating all this crazy stuff. With August, this crazy organization in the DC universe, and the senator's son gets involved. He had to be a friend with Hal Jordan. Gets infected with this alien DNA from the Green Lantern that died, that gave Hal his ring, and he turned into this monster. And of course, not only the monster gets recruited by this guy that was going to attack the Green Lantern Corps, and those two join forces to beat Green Lantern, and the guy who recruited the monster, I forgot his name, Parallax. That's the guy. The Parallax knew that Hal Jordan had the ring that stopped him before. So he said if he figures to stop him, that this guy would take over the whole universe and go on to destroy the Green Lantern Corps. What's his intention? So of course, guess what happened? Hal Jordan was able to defeat him, and then he was able to be accepted by the Green Lantern Corps after that. So now he's going to be joining forces with them and help battle, evil across the universe and stuff. And then you see at the end of the movie with Sinestro putting on the yellow ring, and his outfit transforms into the outfit that we know him from wearing from the comic books and the cartoons and all that. And that's how the movie ends. Like I said earlier at the time of this review, I didn't think that the Green Lantern movie was that bad. A lot of people think it was awful. Ryan Reynolds was cocky and crap. Well, that's how he portrayed the character. You have to understand acting. That's how he portrays the character, as a cocky, young test pilot. There are a lot of people in the military and how they portray in the movies, like Tom Cruise and Top Gun, this young, cocky, Navy aviator. I mean, that's how a lot of them are portrayed that way. It doesn't matter who the actor is, it's how they portray the character. And I don't think that Ryan Reynolds should be named best or pretty much kicked out of Hollywood because of his performance in this movie. I thought everybody was okay, in terms of acting wise. And I think the only real over the top characters maybe the son of the senator. I think he was a little bit too over the top, but acting wise, I mean, how come that actor did not get? I forgot. I'm not sure who was the actor who played that part, but how come he's that didn't get blasted like Ryan Reynolds did? But that's how it goes, I guess. Unfortunately, but the only one who's going to defend Ryan Reynolds in this movie, because I didn't think the movie. I don't think his performance was that bad. I don't think the movie was that bad. I thought it was quite good, quite entertaining for what it was. And like I said, I remember growing up watching the Green Lantern on television, the Superman's television show. So I didn't think the character was that bad at all. Or the movie was that bad. Because, that's how I felt about the character. And this movie. So that's my review of the movie Green Lantern. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video on their Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at RowdyC.com, that's all WDY, and C.com, that's the homepage of the Rowdy Reviewer, Christine Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.